Hi everyone, Sam Smyers here. I'm an artist and music producer in Los Angeles, California. Today I want to talk to you about how to make a reggaeton beat. This genre has become very popular in the United States, especially after the success of Despacito. There's a lot of artists that have been popularizing this genre, including Bad Bunny, Maluma, J Balvin, and Daddy Yankee. I made this beat in Ableton Live, and I will provide a link to download this Ableton Live set in the video description below. So let's get into the beat. So let's first talk about what makes up a reggaeton song. The first is the tempo. The tempo typically ranges between 90 and 100 BPM. It can be plus or minus a couple BPM outside of that range. Just really depends on the song. So it could be 85 BPM, it could be 110 BPM, just really depends. It's usually a 4-chord progression, and the main hits of that progression typically happen on the upbeat. And that usually stays the same throughout the entire song. And what changes is the drum beat. So the drum beat will change every 4 to 8 bars. So because reggaeton is very similar to hip hop, the chord progression will stay the same throughout the entire song, but then the drum beat will change up and there'll be like different singers. Things will change up aside from the chord progression that will just loop throughout the entire song. Generally, there's a kick on all fours, and the snare pattern, if you count it out in 16th notes, it happens on the ah and the and. So if I count out 1 e and da, 2 e and ah, that's when it happens on the ah and the and. So let's get into this beat. So this is based upon a Daddy Yankee song called Con Calma. There's also a version with Katy Perry on it. I really have basic instruments here. And I just have bass and piano. It is 4 chords, even though 2 of the chords are the same. The progression itself has a change 4 times. So technically a 3-chord progression, but it goes 4 times. The key is B flat major. The chords are G minor, F, C minor back to F. And these are happening on the upbeat. Let's go ahead and turn on the metronome. Okay. This is an M1 piano. And then I have it layered with Ableton's grand piano. The bass is following that, and that is boom sub bass, and that is a stock Ableton instrument as well. G, F, C, back to F. And then I add these little octaves here to give it some movement. Give a little bounce. I also have it sidechained, and I have it sidechained with a ghost kick. Here's the sidechain audio from ghost kick. Ghost kick means I have a kick track set up, but I don't have the kick audio going through. So if I play this ghost kick, see I have it muted, but it is triggering this sidechain compressor. And I do that because I'm changing up the drum beats and I'm using different kicks, but I want the sidechain to stay the same. So I'm just using a ghost kick so I can have the kick sidechaining the bass and have that sidechain stay the same without changing up like the release times and attack times and stuff like that. Let's get into the first drum beat. The first drum beat has a kick on all fours right here. We have a snare. So let's play the kick and the snare. And you can see I changed up the pattern right here a little bit. And I have that layered with a much bigger snare. And then I have a shaker. And then I have this drum fill. And I'll show you how I made this. So basically, what I did is I took this snare and I duplicated it, and Command E, Command D, duplicated it 4 times, consolidate, and then I create this fade here, and then it creates this cool drum roll sound. So that's how I made this. Let's go ahead and delete that. And then I have just a tom hit right here. And that's a very basic drum fill. Let's get into the second drum beat. This second drum beat has some elements that are very indicative of what makes up reggaeton, particularly this kick here. I call it the dembo kick. It's more of a tom sounding kick. Usually in the mix, it's very loud and distorted, and it alternates with a regular sounding kick. So I'll play this dembo kick along with a regular sounding kick. You have a kick on all 4, but you have it alternating. Next we have the snare, and this pattern is the same as the last drum beat. And then I have a little bit of an extra percussive snare right here. I have a little shaker. And then I have some percussion right here that sounds like a tom or timbali. And I have it panned a little bit to the right. And I have the snare roll right here, and this is just a sample that I found. So those are the 2 drum beats, and you can hear I change it up every 4 bars. You can do some more different drum beats. You can start and stop the chord progression as I did here. To make things sound different, you can add fills. It's really about having this basic structure down and then adding little things here and there, adding ear candy, changing up the singers, and that is how you kind of put it all together into a full song. So there you have it. That is how you make a reggaeton beat. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and go ahead and grab the Ableton Live set in the video description below to help you get started with your reggaeton beats. Thank you so much.